All right, hey, good day, folks. Neil Johnson, Neil of the North. So here's the deal. So many people are thinking, oh my gosh, I'd love to have cows. I'd love to get into farming, all this kind of stuff. I'm going to tell you something. It's a heartbreaker sometimes. So this is my cow, Charity, and I want you to look. See how bloated she is? So here's what happens. I'm going to just kind of give you a word of warning. Do you see this hole here? This is what she was stuck in, okay? So cows get on their sides and they get in these depressions, and we've had this happen before. I didn't realize this one was here, whatever. It looks like it was from moving a rock. I was doing some work in this pasture, and it was in the fall. Probably didn't get that rock squared away, whatever, or I got it out of there. But you know, if they lay in these depressions, and then part of it too is you see all the ice build up there around it, they can't get back up, okay? The cow cannot get back up, and it heaves, and it's moving so much on its side. What happens is the lungs actually collapse and the cow bloats and it can't move. So this is just something for you to know if you've got cows. You know, it'd be wonderful if pastures were smooth, but cows make holes by virtue of moving around and doing what they do in the spring. They rough up the ground and all this stuff, and every farmer I know has had this happen, okay? So now I got to get this cow out of here because my other cows, I don't want the predators necessarily coming in by them, the scavengers, I should say. It's like the World Economic Forum, the global scavengers. So here you go. I got to get Charity. I love that cow. I really did. She was pretty spunky and all, but anyway, she was all right. And doesn't that twist their stomachs too? I'm not sure on the stomach too. I know that it's, you know, basically they can't handle it. That's just what I know. And it really sucks because she had made it through the winter. It was a tough winter. We lost some cows during the winter. You know, Faith is going to go down there and check her out. See that? But so what I'm doing, these are big animals. They're heavy. Okay. So I've got my friend's car trailer that I used for grabbing this Suburban out in South Dakota, and it's got a winch on it, a 9,000 pound winch. So I've got that hooked up, you can see, to the plow truck. The battery, that's what's powering it here. And then I've got the remote, and I brought it up, and there's tension on there and everything like that. Thanks, daughter of the Most High God. It does suck. I mean, cows are an investment, but you also get to, I don't know, you get to liking the animals and whatever. My son Nathan never liked this one because she was a stubborn bugger. Anyways, she did give us some problems sometimes, but that's fine. You know, they got their own personalities and everything. So I've got to haul her up from down there. I'm going to get her here to this trailer, and then I'm going to bring her into the upper pasture up there, where the other one is, and then I'm gonna cut her open and let the scavengers take care of it, because that's just what it is. I mean, well, I only had 2 cows, Patty, and both of them I lost. My sons, they each lost some cows too, but it was a combination of factors. So we have a problem with liver flukes up here. Liver flukes are a parasite. They get in the liver, and you know, coincidentally, ivermectin is one of the things we use for them, diatomaceous fur, but it's not a foolproof thing. And once those flukes get in the liver, they tunnel. And it's not, see, a parasite's job isn't to kill its host, but it does weaken the host. And you can, when you impound these livers on cows sometimes up here, you just, because they live in moist ground, and that's all over the place up here, okay, northern Minnesota. And so you need cows that are able to deal with it. So you have to, as cows calve, the idea behind it, I was talking with a friend who's a pretty significant farmer up here. I've done a lot of marketing work for him, but he said that he talked to someone, and you're not going to get rid of flukes. You have to have cows that can live with flukes. So what that means is that if the cow dies and they've had a calf, you get rid of that calf right away. You know, it's just, you know, trying to stay ahead of it in the genetic spectrum. And then but the other thing too is our hay this year wasn't near as quality a hay, because it was so dry, it was tough to even find hay. It was a struggle even finding hay. It's not as nutrient dense as it normally is. So that didn't help. And the winter was blasted cold, okay? Blasted cold. I mean, we had so many nights down at 30 below zero, and then high winds and cold, and it just takes their toll on them, you know. It kind of sucks, but you know, my family's coming back from South Dakota today, so I've been gathering up the maple syrup and just trying to deal with this, because I just want to get it out of the pasture where the cows are and whatnot. So it's just what you deal with. I mean, you know, a lot of people have this idea of farming or ranching as, oh, it's kind of romantic and all that. I'll tell you what it is. It's a lot of work, okay? And the other thing is it really does get to be heartbreaking sometimes. You hate to lose animals. You know, you just do. And I know that they're beef cows, right? So eventually you're going to butcher them. But it's different when that happens versus, you know, you think about a cow out here struggling as it gets on its side and it's heaving, convulsing, and yeah, it just, you know, it collapses inside of itself. They bloat up and they just can't move, and they die, and they kind of get panic stricken when it happens, and they're kicking all over the place. Now my son had this happen over on his place. He lives just down the way, and earlier this spring, and he had one that got on site and bloated, and his father-in-law, who's a dairy farmer, was over helping him. And one of the things you can do is you can puncture it high in the stomach, but it has to be in the right spot. Don't ask me, I don't know, I'm not giving advice here. But it worked, because what you do is you have to actually puncture it to release the gas, and you put a straw in there, and that's what they did, and actually that cow made it. So it's like letting the air out of a balloon, and they got it done, and the cow lived. Okay, but can you imagine having to do that? Seriously, I mean, you got to get basically they had a butcher knife, right? And the cows, you've got to get it. I think it's on the left side. Don't quote me on that. Don't, seriously. I mean, if you're gonna do it, find somebody who knows what they're doing, because I've never done it and I don't know. But here I'm gonna kind of cover the mic from the wind, but. They'd watched a YouTube video, okay, and then they got busy, and neither one of them really wanted to do it, and they were kind of indecision, and then finally it's like, no, we got to do it now, and they just did it, and it was like all that air lets out from the bloated cow, and then they I don't know, you know, my son was telling me all about, anyways, get a straw in there, cow gets up, walks around, and then after a couple days you can pull out the straw. So it really does suck, but part of the deal. I'm glad I got the Duramax running again. I don't know if you guys saw, I did a video on that, but I had to replace the whole fuse panel in there, because I don't know, the person before me must have had spilled something in the fuse box. It was all corroded, okay? You know, it's so yeah, I saw that 16 hours of work. You know, fortunately for me, I've got a small operation, whatever. I'll probably go buy a couple replacement cows. You know, it's even with the hay now that they don't have to deal with the winter, they'll be fine. It's not terrible hay. It's just, you know, just wasn't doing great through the winter. I don't know. Just is what it is, you know. It sucks, but you know, life's hard, folks. Doesn't mean it's not beautiful, but it is hard. No way you slice it. Anybody who tells you otherwise is trying to sell you something. Just remember that. Yeah, I love y'all. All right, just wanted to share that with you. Hey, for those who don't know, I got a new coffee sponsor. It's great coffee. It's reverecoffeecompany.com. Promo code Lumberjack gets you that coffee. But I really like those people. So, but it's nice too, with all this weight, I'm going to be able to get that winch back correctly. So anyhow, I'm back to winching. I'm going to let y'all go. Just wanted to let you know that wonderful piece of news. All right, I love y'all.